Howdy folks, Justin here. This is version 2.0 of yesterday's horrible idea. We have pared down things a little bit, took out cards that I liked, uh, but it's still a ridiculous deck. We had 3 Demore Martinezes because I crafted 3 forever ago, and I wanted to play them. We have Vodaving and Parthenax, OG Dragon Lords, alongside their rigidly backboned friends, cousins perhaps. Hisgrove, although Hisgrove's never going to trigger. We have Rapid Shots to combo kind of with our Skaven Pyromancers and just to get us to our action, to our meat. Early board contesting creatures are Aldalathi, Barrowstalk, and Windkeep Spellsword. It wouldn't be terrible to cut, I think, Night to Remember. And the Dremora Martinez and just play a more traditional, if such a thing exists, ramp Rage Warrior. But, you know, it's fun. We have 1 Felled Mighty, 1 Earthbone Spinner, just sort of like stuff. As far as support removal, we pack a lot as well. We have 2 Belligerent Giants, 3 Dishnook Yell Archers. Dishnook also just pretty good at contesting the early board. Unlike the last version, which was kind of aimed at OTK and control decks, this deck is aimed at conscription decks, because when I was trying to queue into Telvanni or Tribunal, I ended up just queuing into a lot of Halalu and stuff, so I changed the deck up and I built this. And, yeah, I think it should be pretty good for what it is, you know. I think it's probably like a tier 3 deck. I know I'm spending more time talking about this than I usually do decks, but, you know, it's an archetype that I've played with on and off for a while now, for quite a while. I think that it's, you know, with some alterations based on what you're seeing, a pretty reasonable deck. Something like 33% of the games I've played this season have been against conscription decks, and you can get to 14 Magicka before they get to 11 sometimes, and then you can play Night Shadow and Unstoppable Rage in the same turn and win. Or if not win, at least not lose that turn. Night to Remember targets are not as prevalent as I might like. You know, there is Dishnook and Earthbone for the emergencies, Hollow Death Priest for your Telvanni matchups, Spine for emergency ramp, Belligerent Giant for extra support removal and bounce, Dremora for the memes, and that's honestly why I put it in the first place. And then, of course, Odaving and Parthenax are both reasonable as well. We took out Ulfric's Uprising because it was kind of clunky, didn't have synergy with a lot of the stuff we were trying to do. And Unstoppable Rage just felt like a more reasonable inclusion. We're only running 2 copies because you can just stabilize and be a beatdown deck with your Night Shadows, Spines, and Belligerent Giants and stuff. And Dremora Martinez is pretty good at sealing games. You know, swinging for 12 with one of these guys or 14 with this is pretty strong. So, yeah. I hope you enjoy. I'm going to record a couple games. And I admit I did quite a bit of playing with this already. I got myself down to the bottom of the Serpent with the old version, so made a couple changes, did pretty well, and we're gonna hop on into a few. I will see you there. Alright, so I made some pretty dramatic changes to the list. It's one of those things. I built a deck that was very had one purpose, right? To beat control decks through cheese, and I just keep queuing into Rhetoric and stuff like that. So I added Unstoppable Rage and some creatures I wouldn't mind playing Unstoppable Rage on. Trimmed out some stuff. Actually kind of streamlined the list a little bit. I will keep Spellsword and Treeminder, as well as check my text messages. Samsung Health wants to know how my week was. It's none of your business, cell phone. Okay. So we got a couple ramp cards. We have several ramp cards. If I ring out Windkeep's Treeminder, I can't really do anything fancy the following turn, so I think I'm just going to play Windkeep Spellsword.
By Arcade's beard, this day will be mine.
And see if we can't maybe rage a lane of conscription creatures, since my opponent is on Rhetoric but hasn't played anything in the first 2 turns. Induril Mastermind, perhaps? No play again. Okay. Huh. There's a night to remember, part of our exceptionally greedy package. I also took out the uprisings. Again, I put in more cards that actually do things, which probably is for the best. Skaven would be pretty good here for my opponent.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
Okay.
For Epic Stormcloak.
Oh, there's Night Shadow for that sweet unstoppable rage action. Obviously at its best against Elaine post-conscription. Now we don't know that our opponent's on conscription. They could be on Doomcrag.
Orders?
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to ramp ourselves up to Parthenax, I guess. I mean, there are a lot of ways we can win this game. One of which is ramping this hard and playing Parthenax, because we are a control deck, I guess.
I know a shortcut.
Yeah.
I'll clear
Pretty good Veteran Forerunner value, taking out a 6-drop.
Confound you!
What am I doing? So I need 8 and 6 is 14. I'll have enough Magicka right now. Because I've ramped 3 times, I can get 14 or 15 to Unstoppable Rage and play one of these in the same turn. So maybe I just develop the Night Shadow.
I am a child.
And I'll make it available for trades and stuff. Just to get some cards out of my opponent's hand. Casting the Time is also something I would love my Night Shadow to get hit with, so that my Parthenax doesn't get hit with it. I might wait till 14 Magicka actually to play Parthenax so that I can Night to remember it.
For the glory of the Orsimer.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna swing face and Belligerent Giant that. I'll Rapid Shot too, just for a cycle. Oh, let's swing first now.
Pain is delicious.
I'm kind of pretty serious about playing Parthenax next turn. So I'm not going to waste a Rapid Shot. Opponent's not putting up any resistance here, really, to our shenanigans. But this is one of the advantages to playing a deck like this, right? Like, your opponent's like, oh, led with a Windkeep Spellsword. I know how to deal with this. And then you start playing... Like, now it should be obvious that we're a ramp rage deck.
Khajiit is done for.
Okay. So it looks like the improvements worked. We'll be right back for another one. Alright, we're going to try one more time to win a game with this. Just thinking that this might be the last video I release with this client. That's sad. I've been playing Histgrove decks for a long time, almost 2 years, probably 2 years now. So it feels good to go out with a Histgrove deck. Bremrad the Red Mountain on Halalu. Not the matchup we built the deck for, but what are you gonna do? They have the ring. Throw all our cool stuff away. Alright. So if we ramp like crazy,
Fortune favor me.
and we get to 14 Magicka, we can Unstoppable Rage on a Drain creature. That's one way we might win.
Wait,
But
did you hear that?
If that goes in the other lane, okay,
Good
it doesn't.
tidings, citizen.
I smell the stench.
to your
of
I was gonna say, if it goes in the
living.
other lane, it's a sure sign that they have a pit line. Now it's just sort of like they probably have a pit line. Bremrod, the Red Mountain. Oh, Halalu. I'm looking at Dushnikel in my hand. Because there's basically no opportunity cost anymore to running support removal, like, Histgrove can't win games. It is just a crappy ramp card.
Them with me.
I mean, we're running Venom Tongue as far as crappy ramp cards go.
The
Alright, Tree
warrior's
Minder.
alive.
Gets us closer to Cradle Crush. Old Lot the Assassin is in there as a emergency rage target now, I guess. Also a way to rally onto creatures that you Dremora Markinaise, but when we made the changes to the list, we sort of moved away from the Dremora Markinaise plan. Plus, it's just honestly not very realistic. Would like a... What kind of card do I want to draw? Saving Assault. Yeah. When I was first building Hisgrove decks, aggro decks did not draw more cards than control decks. Alright, there's Night Shadow. We do have Cradle Crush online now. If they don't have an answer to a Night Shadow, we could play it naked.
Over. It's time to act.
Okay.
The Nords must take back Skyrim. Or Ulfric Stormcloak.
If they play the makeshift defenses, then I think I'm just gonna Cradle Crush. You have another 1-drop they want to play over there? Okay. Alternatively, it's Windkeep Spellsword Hollow Death Priest. We're not facing much damage, so I think this is actually a fine play. Okay, we got their Halalu Oathman,
This day will be mine.
which should help slow down their card draw. And the stuff we have on board can contest pretty well. It's going to be not impossible, but challenging for him to get, or him or her, whoever, to get value from a Crusader's Assault with this board. So I kind of like it for that reason. They run Sanctuary Pet. And they just go
Ulfric
face.
Stormcloak.
Alright, so I can clear with Cradle Crush then. Sure.
I slay the unworthy.
Alright, it's pretty good old Velothi as well. I definitely want to get Night Shadow into play now.
Orders?
If they fill this lane, maybe I just Unstoppable Rage. No. No, I'm going to...
Should have been more worthy.
I am a child of darkness.
I'm going to do this. Because can you imagine how great it would be if they didn't have Dawnbreaker and I got an Unstoppable Rage on that thing? That's why we're running it. That's why we're running it. Histgrove Unstoppable Rage.
Chimera, guide us.
It's 13. They need 5 more from hand. They can have it if they have a raiding party.
The Nords must take back Skyrim.
This puts them 1 off.
Time to fight. Fires of Alduin.
Alright. Well. Good times. Oh, it feels pretty good, Halalu player. Feels pretty good.
Your pain is delicious.
There we go.
A fine battle.